Hi, I'm Annie, and today I'm joined by my friends Charlie and Sanchia. And we're going to be taking you through some of the common sequences that you might find in a yoga practice. There are so many poses or postures, but often they're combined in a similar sequence. And so familiarizing yourself with some of these is a really great way to help you feel a little bit more comfortable in a class. So the first one that we're going to look at is a sun salutation. And while there are quite a few different variations of sun salutations, we're going to look at Surya Namaskar A, or sun salutation A. So coming to stand at the top of your mats. And the first thing to do is just to kind of find that standing pose, Tadasana, mountain pose, where there's an equal spread of weight through the soles of your feet. And your toes can touch, or your feet can be hip width apart. But as you kind of root through the feet and feel the touch of the soles of your feet against the earth, you also have this kind of lengthening sensation, like somebody's pulling you up through the top of your head. We're going to take the arms over the head, so you can take them in front of you or out to the sides. And you're still rooting down through the feet. You're lengthening up through the fingers. Then fold forwards and take your hands to the ground, but you can bend your knees if you need to. Then, either using your blocks underneath your palms or fingertips on the ground, you're going to extend the spine and lengthen halfway, so the back of the body is flat. Then you're going to fold back forwards, place your hands on the ground, and step back to a high plank pose. So this high plank pose, the core is engaged, and there's this long line from the top of your head to the heels. And you can choose to place the knees on the floor if that's more comfortable. You're pushing the ground away, so you have this nice rounding shape of the upper back. And then from here, we're going to lower the chest to the ground. So either in one long line, or the knees come down to the ground, and you bring your elbows in towards your waist as you come down. Then peeling your chest just into a low cobra pose for this modification, tops of the feet to the floor. Or you can come all the way up into this upward facing dog, lifting the thighs and the knees from the earth. So both Charlie and Sanchia have really got the shoulders drawing down the back of their body, really strong support through the center of their core. Then tuck your toes and take your hips up, downward facing dog. So downward facing dog isn't about getting the heels on the ground. It's much more about lengthening the spine. So in this inverted V shape, you can take your feet a little bit wider apart, or you can find the positioning of the hands and the feet that helps you get comfortable. And then as you root through the hands, feel this kind of lift coming from the upper part of the back. So the upper part of the back is spreading wide, and you're drawing up through your sit bones. So drawing up through the seat and lengthening the back of the body. From here, we're going to step the feet to the top of the mat, maybe one foot then the other, and then fold down over the toes again, coming into that forward fold. From here, push through the feet, take your arms over your head, and then bringing them through the heart center, release them to the sides. So that's the sequence. Let's take another, same again. Inhale the arms over your head. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Soften the knees if you need to. Give yourself a little space through the spine. Look up halfway as you inhale, lengthen through the sides of the body. And then plant your palms and step your feet back to your high plank, option to drop the knees. Squeezing the glutes, engaging the core, and pushing the ground away. We're going to lower down either knees and then the chest, or from this high to low plank. This is Chaturanga. As you inhale, you lengthen your chest forward as you peel your heart away from the ground. And then tuck your toes and take your seat back, downward facing dog. Good. Maybe having a little wiggle here if you need to bend one knee, then the other. Just start to explore how this shape feels in your body. And then after a few breaths here, you'll walk the feet to the top of the mat. And you can take lots of little steps if you need to, or maybe you step one big step or a jump, folding over your toes when you arrive at the top. Root through the feet. Inhale the arms all the way over your head. Look up between your thumbs. And exhale, bringing your hands through the center of the chest. Nice. Release them to the sides. So let's take a second sun salutation, Surya Namaskar B or sun salutation B. This starts with a chair pose. So you're going to bend the knees and your feet can touch or be hip width apart, your choice. Lengthening the navel and lifting up through the chest. Good. Then fold forwards and place the hands either side of the feet. Look up halfway, just like we did before. And then step back to a high plank. So this bit's the same. You lower like you did, either knees first or from high to low plank. Then lengthen the chest forward, engaging through the core. As you exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. This is where we change again. So the right foot is going to step between the palms as you connect the back heel to the ground. So the hips are square. Now, raising the arms over your head, take them alongside the ears. Warrior One can be pretty uncomfortable, especially if you're trying to get the back heel down. So it's okay to lift the heel away from the ground or to place a block or a blanket underneath the heel if it helps you to stabilize here. Nice. Your knee stacks above your ankle. Good. And your toes on the right foot are facing forwards. Think about drawing your lower ribs in towards each other so you're not collapsing into the lower back. Beautiful, guys. Let's place the hands either side of the foot and step back to your high plank. Then we transition in the same way. So from high to low plank, you lower down using the knees if that's what feels good. Long spine as you lengthen into a back bend, tops of the feet to the floor. Then take your seat high, downward facing dog. And we do the same on the left side. So stepping the left foot between the palms. Root through the outside of the back foot and raise your arms over your head. Now, by connecting the outside of the back foot to the floor, you're engaging all the way up this back leg. So the legs are a really strong foundation in this pose. Nice. This is Warrior One. Let's take the hands back down to the floor, finding that transition again from high to low plank. As you inhale, you lengthen forwards into your cobra pose or your upward facing dog. And as you exhale, take your seat back, downward facing dog. And you can have another little wriggle here. Just feel what you feel. Notice how the breath is moving in and out of the body. And you can see that your fingers are spread and lengthening against the ground, but without overstretching. Good. Nice solid foundation through the hands and the feet. Let's step to the top of the mat. And folding over the toes as you arrive. Then take a chair pose, bend your knees, lengthen the sides of the waist and the navel. Then pushing through the feet, come all the way up to standing and bring the hands back through the center. Nice. Let's run that one more time. So bend your knees, chair pose. Good. Fold forwards, place the hands on the floor. Look up halfway, lengthening the sides of the waist. And then plant the palms and step back to your high plank. So from high plank, lower down with control. Bend your elbows in towards your waist. Beautiful. Lengthening the heart space forward so you're opening up through the chest. And then take your hips back, find a downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your palms. This is Warrior One as you root the back foot to the earth and raise the arms over your head, lengthening the sides of the waist. Turning your little fingers in towards each other so the arms become really active. Then place the hands to frame the foot at the top of your mat. Step back and lower from high to low plank again. Good. Inhale, drawing long through the front and the back of the body so there's no collapsing into the spine. And take it back, downward facing dog. Same again, left side. Step the foot between the palms. And if it doesn't get there in one step, you can always help it along with your hand. It doesn't matter. Root through the outside of the back foot and raise your arms up. Warrior One. Good. Really using the right foot here to energize all the way up the right leg. Draw your left hip back, right hip forwards. Then place the hands either side of the foot. Step back to your high plank. And lower in the same way that we've done before. Good. And you're breathing the whole time that you're moving. Take it all the way back, down dog. Nice. So last time, let's step the feet to the top of the mat. Looking up halfway and folding over your toes. Then bend the knees, chair pose. This is Utkatasana. From here, push through the feet, come all the way to stand, and the hands come through the center of the chest. Release them to the sides. So if you guys want to come back into a downward facing dog, so bringing yourselves forward to a high plank and lowering down, just like we did before, elbows wrap into the waist, the core is tight, the knees can come down. Then peeling forwards into your cobra pose or lifting the knees for upward facing dog and taking the seat back, downward facing dog. So that short transition or sequence is the vinyasa. Let's try it again. Come forwards to a high plank and lowering down with control with your breath. Good, elbows draw in tight. Lengthening the spine as you find your back bend, cobra or upward dog. And take your seat back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Come down to the knees, take a breather, maybe find a child's pose. So we've gone over the sun salutations A and B and the vinyasa, which is used a lot in classes for transitions. And with a little bit more familiarity around those, hopefully it will make classes feel a little bit easier, whether that is in a studio or in your own home. And you can come back to these videos at any time to remind yourselves of the basics. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.